welcome back everybody. I just want to show you kind of the changes I've made. Redid the body. I reprinted it, as you'll see in just a second, because these gaps were just kind of unacceptable. So,
Finally reprinted both halves together, which seems to be the secret. So it formed way better. There's not as much warping. I need to get the, I don't know, it still kind of looks like it warped a little maybe. I don't know, maybe it's okay. Yeah, we'll just hope it's okay. But fits much better. I'm gonna have to do some magic with some screws and get it held together eventually. But it does fit. Screws in just fine. You know, no huge seams like the last build. So got to work on transferring the arms over, getting the support material removed, and going from there. Get all the components installed. So we'll see how it goes.
all right, got all the arms on, so it kind of looks like it's fully assembled now, but it's not. It just kind of gives you a rough estimate of what it'll look like when it's finished. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how the body turned out. As you'll see, it screws together well. It fits nicely. Just got a few cracks and got to worry about how to fit the mounting screws, stuff like that. But yeah, overall, it's pretty nice. The next step is to move on to the flight controller, and I'm going to start out with the VTX. So here's the flight controller. Got the VTX soldered on there. I'm going to test it out and see how it looks through goggles. Looks good. It's doing what it should. I don't really have the on-screen display set up yet. I'm going to get into Betaflight here in a little bit and get it all worked out. But that's a good sign that the VTX works. Now, when I tried to test fit the flight controller, it didn't quite fit all the way down onto the little pegs I printed, which didn't really turn out to be a good idea. I don't know if it just didn't design it right or what, but I had to use a Dremel tool and kind of sand down some of the sides to get it on there. And then I moved on to the motors, soldering in some motor connectors, getting the pads cleaned off before I solder. But this turned out to be a very problematic process. I think I ended up burning out some of the ESCs, so I'm gonna have to get into that here in a minute. But it seemed to go well. I only had like one bridge, fixed that fine. But yeah, it was a pain in the neck. It turned out to be. But anyway, here it is. The all the four are installed, soldered on. Had a few fitment issues, but got that sorted out. Here's kind of like the final product. Then we move into Betaflight. Like I said just a second ago, I ran into some issues with the motors. Only one was spinning, and so I hooked it up to the analog discovery kit to view what was going on. And you could see the fourth motor was getting activity, getting the signal, but when I started like all the motors at once, that was the only one that was actually spinning. So I was like, well, that's not right. And I thought maybe I just maybe had a bridge or something like that, or the wires were touching or something simple. But it did not turn out to be that way, unfortunately. And it was quite worse. And so now I'm reordering a flight controller. So I switched flight controllers from the Get RC Taker, and now I'm using the Flywoo Goku or something like that. So we'll see on when that gets in, if it gets in before Christmas or not. Hopefully it does, but you know, China. And here's just another kind of Hail Mary trying to get any of the motors to work, but it doesn't work out that way. And then in just a second, I'll show you kind of like my lab or my desktop setup. But yeah, it was pretty frustrating. So here I got the Analog Discovery 2 set up on the left, and then the flight controller set up on the right. And then if you want to know, I'm using the Beta FPV 2S battery to power the motors. So as you can see a little bit, it does recognize the flight controller. Everything was working fine until the motors, unfortunately. So that's really a big letdown. But yeah, such is life, I guess. What I'm doing here is basically I stripped a motor wire, a spare one I had, and then I fed two of the leads into the analog discovery so I could monitor all the motor signals. And so I'm just swapping back and forth between each of the motor female or male, I guess, connectors, whatever they're called. So just doing that and then seeing if there's any output at all on any of the channels into the motors, but there wasn't. So super frustrating. If you do want to help me and help my project, the biggest thing you can do is hit that like button and subscribe and even leave a comment if you feel up to it. Additionally, if you want to help support me monetarily, I have a Monero address and also a Bitcoin address that I'll post at the end and maybe a QR code for each. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. And hopefully I'll see you soon with another update that actually works this time.